Hello everybody! I am actually going to be using my dining room table to use as a blackboard. Hi Jana! How puppy? Hi honey! Because I painted it with blackboard paint. So we're going to have some chalk and I'm going to show you guys the family tree of the characters in Romeo and Juliet so you can kind of keep them in your head, managed. Hi, Lila. Okay, so we have two families, right? Two households, both alike in dignity. That line comes from the prologue. So basically, both of the houses, one is the Capulets, and the other is the Montagues. They're both rich, they both have a good standing in the community, but they hate each other. They don't get along. Dana, you have to get down. Okay, so, and we are set in Verona, Italy. That is our setting for the play. Okay, so even though they're going to be speaking in English and it was written in Elizabethan England, we're going to imagine that these people are Italian. Okay, so over on the Capulet side, you're so bad. Okay, sorry, I swear I'm going to focus. Okay, we have Lady Capulet. I'm going to put her on that side. And we just have, he's just referred to as Capulet, but he's like Lord Capulet, right? So put Lord. Okay, and Capulet, Lord Capulet has a nephew who's going to play a big role in this play. So we're just gonna put like brother, and then this is the nephew. Okay, his name is Tybalt, even though it looks like it's Tybalt. His name is Tybalt. And Tybalt is supposed to be this like really scary guy. He's supposed to be like very quick to anger, very quick to fight. And when he does fight, he's really, really good at it. So you do not want to get into a fight with Tybalt. He is known as the Prince of Cats because of how quickly he moves on his feet and how stealthy he is during a fight. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. We're gonna see that comparison between, like, you know, cats and dogs a lot in this play, just kind of to reiterate the idea that these two families do not get along. The Capulets are often compared to cats, which is kind of easy to remember because Capulet, it starts with the same first two letters. And the Montagues are often going to be compared to dogs. Okay. All right, so anyway, back to the Capulets. So we have Tybalt over here. He is cousin to Juliet. Okay, so Juliet is the daughter of Lady and Lord Capulet. However, she was raised by a woman who's just going to be called the nurse. And she's just kind of floating out here because she was hired help, okay? So she's kind of like the nanny, but she has raised Juliet since she was a baby. And in fact, she's probably spent more time with Juliet than her own parents have. So when we're thinking about like who Juliet's mom is, biologically, it's Lady Capulet, but you know, like nature versus nurture. If we're looking at the nurture aspect of it, it's been the nurse, okay? Juliet and her mom have a really strained relationship because of that. She's not really involved in her life, and now she's starting to get involved in her life because now Juliet is old enough to start kind of trying to find a husband, and she's all about that. So that is the Capulet family. So now we go over to the Montagues. They're a little less complex. We don't know as much about them. So again, we're going to have a Lady Capulet, and then we're just going to have somebody who's referred to as Montague, but he's, again, like Lord Capulet. He's Lord Montague. And they had one son named Romeo. Okay. Romeo also has a cousin, just like Juliet has a cousin. His cousin, I'm running out of space. I'm just gonna write Banjo. Banjo, that's enough. Look. Good boy. Ah. Sorry, they bark every time that like somebody is on the street or, you know, you get the mail or whatever. They're very cute. Okay, so Romeo's cousin is a guy named Benvolio. And unlike Tybalt, he's actually kind of like the exact opposite of Tybalt. You know how I said Tybalt was like a big fighter and he was really kind of quick to anger? Benvolio is really peaceful and kind, and he just wants to have everybody getting along, which again makes sense if you know about like root words and stuff, because the root word ben actually means good in Latin, right? Like if we're looking at words like beneficial or benevolent, benefit, right? These are all good things. So Montague, cousin, very peaceful. Capulet, cousin, very scary. So just kind of like how Juliet has this random person kind of floating around who's not actually in the family but is really important, Romeo also has somebody like that in his life, but this person is not at all related to them at all. And he's actually kind of friends with the Capulets. So I'm going to put him kind of in the middle beneath Verona, Italy. His name is Mercutio. Mercutio is Romeo's best friend. BFF. But he comes from a family, and we don't know their last name, but he comes from a family that gets along with the Capulets. So he's kind of like a bridge between these two families, and that connection is going to be really important to remember because it's going to allow Romeo to actually then meet Juliet. He's kind of like the person who allows that to happen. So there's another person actually that I didn't mention. She is also a Capulet, but I don't know how like closely related she is. So I'm just going to I'm just going to float her over here. Because it doesn't say she is, it doesn't say she's Juliet's cousin or anything. It just says she's a Capulet. So she might be like a distant relative or something like that. So this person, Rosaline, is actually somebody who Romeo is in love with at the beginning of the play. At the very beginning of the play, Romeo is actually like really heartbroken and depressed because he loves this girl, Rosaline, but she's never going to love him back because she wants to become a nun. And as you guys know, nuns don't, or as you might know, nuns don't ever get married. They commit themselves to the church, and that is their relationship with God. They don't have relationships with, you know, with other people. And friendships and stuff like that, but not romantic relationships. So Romeo is actually really, really upset about this, but I just want to point it out because we talk about how Romeo, like really should not have messed with the Capulets in terms of Juliet, but he's already messing around with Capulets by liking Rosaline. So let's just keep that in mind. This boy already knows he's a troublemaker and he's causing trouble. So this is our Verona, Italy. Sorry about the bones under the table. This is our Verona, Italy family tree so that you can kind of keep this all in mind. Oh, one more thing. There are so many characters and they have so many different relationships. So Mercutio actually is related to the prince. Okay, he's actually his nephew. Okay, and the prince is the ruler of Verona. Okay, so also keep that in mind. We're going to meet the prince in Act 1, Scene 1, and he's going to make that clear, but he plays a big role in this whole mess as well. Okay, so there we have it. I hope you enjoyed seeing my dogs and looking at me draw on my table.